All right, guys, we made it to Friday. Congratulations to everyone around. Just want to let everybody know, me and David are steering the ship today. Blaine is out, which is a forfeit on Flaming Dragon Friday. It is a forfeit. It is a win for us. Look, I don't want it to be this way, all right? But I'm going to accept the dubs as they come. He knew how laser-focused I was going to be today. I spent all last night, minus the storm, just staring into the woods, getting ready for today. And he doesn't show.
No one can take that
the man's running, David.
No one can take that preparation.
The man's running. But guess what? I got the fun fact today.
I want to hear this.
This one's going to blow your mind. Samuel L. Jackson has made around $357 million from his movies.
Wow.
He averages around 2,200 words per movie in 156 movies. That's just over $1,000 per word. He said MFer 1,116 of those words, which means in the great country of the United States of America, Samuel L. Jackson has made roughly over $1.1 million from just saying the MF word.
Really?
How about that?
$1 million.
Name another country.
This one.
This one. That's it.
Now I'd like to know what percentage of that word came from Quentin Tarantino movies.
Well, I would like to know what percentage of the words he says are cuss words. Because it's got to be way more than even that. I just thought that was a
national treasure. But it sounds like one of his co-stars.
No, they're going to get. Look, I'm doing It's Mid today.
There's a special edition.
Nobody is safe out here. Nobody is safe, so you better strap in. The Chargers trade Keenan Allen to the Bears for a 4th-round pick and a washing machine. Pete Nakos from On3 joins us to discuss the latest changes to the college transfer portal. And the conference tournaments are here in college basketball, and they're absolutely drunk already. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to the Flamin' Dragon edition, even though Blaine's not here, of Crane & Company. Rawr, I'm a dragon. Now, as I've said multiple times, I don't like to bring up problems unless I have a solution or have a couple ideas to throw in the ring, right? It moves us forward. So, we've talked a lot about the transfer portal, talked a lot about NIL, a lot about Nick Saban this week. I'm going to fix the transfer portal in less than a minute and a half. All right, here we go. First rule of the way the transfer portal should be. You get one free transfer outside of the conference you play in, and it can be up or down levels. That's fine. You get one of them, but it's got to be outside the conference. Now, rule 2. If your head coach leaves, not the offensive coordinator, not the linebackers coach, if your head coach leaves for any reason, players can transfer once again wherever they want. So even if they've already transferred once, if the head coach is fired or he takes a job in the NFL or resigns, you can go anywhere you want, including inside the conference. Now, number 3. If a player wants to transfer inside the conference they play in, if you want to go from Tennessee to LSU without your head coach leaving, you must sit a year. That's just within your own conference. Number 4, if you want to transfer a second time after you've already exhausted that first free transfer and your head coach is not leaving, then you must sit a year. All right? Next, grad transfer rules stay the same. I thought about maybe eliminating it, but that's fine. The grad transfer, if you graduate, you're still within the 4 for 5. You can transfer wherever you want. I'm good with that. All right. Next, hardship waivers still exist. Your mom gets sick, something happens, you can send in that waiver, which will be judged by the new governing body. Hopefully I'm a part of it, but probably not. And then lastly, the transfer portal window days should be reduced by 25%. Hell, I'm good with going 50%. You want to cut it in half. There's way too many days that the transfer portal window is open. They're already trying to cut it down. And those are some simple rules. And since it's so simple, and since it's so obvious, and since it would help, they're definitely not going to do it. But that's how we could fix the transfer portal in less than 2.5 minutes. What ideas do you have? What do you guys think? David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, and then replacement Cohn. And you see Pylon Boy sitting right there front and center. Replacement Cohn, we know he's with me 100%. on the way to fix the transfer portal. David Cohn, first off, happy Flamin' Dragon Friday, my friend. Congratulations on the dub. And then also, it's that simple.
Yeah.
The fixes could be that simple, and you eliminate a lot of the problems, right? Because now, and we're going to ask Pete Nakos from On 3 about this, we just had another rule passed where you can basically, you want to transfer again within the academic year, the current year, there is no penalty due to the injunction that was just passed.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how rational your thoughts are on the transfer portal. Nothing is going to change because now we've entered an era where any attempt to prevent players to be able to transfer at a moment's notice wherever they want to go is seen as limiting the players. It's seen as exploitation, and it's seen as violating antitrust. This is the same thing that we're seeing with NIL. That's why both of these things are playing out at the same time. I mean, I'll just offer a little bit of my own personal perspective here. When Rich Rodriguez came into Michigan in place of Lloyd Carr, the offensive system completely changed. It was not conducive to a 6'7" drop back passing quarterback. I thought about transferring every single day because I knew I wouldn't be the starting quarterback at Michigan. That would mean I already redshirted a year when I got there. I was going to have to sit out another year. Because of that, though, I decided to stay because it was important to me to get a degree from the school that I had already started at. And I thought if I'm good enough to go to the NFL, I can make it as a backup quarterback here. Matt Gutierrez already did that a few seasons ago. He played for the Patriots for like 5 seasons, something like that. Yeah. Said, I'm going to remain committed to this school. I wish more kids would go and commit to a school, go and commit to a place and see it through. But I do understand that circumstances change. You talked about the hardship waivers. That's always been the case where guys can grant a special hardship waiver. But the idea that, well, the coaches can leave at any moment's notice and take another job, so the players should be able to as well. That's a difficult proposition for me. And I understand people get excited when they get a really good player into their school from a transfer portal, but you can't tell me that any college football fans out there are really excited when they see one college athlete playing for a different school all 4 years of their career. To me, it doesn't seem like that's the most successful avenue for them, not only to go to the NFL, but just as a person moving forward. So I don't know if it's going to change as long as people see this as like an antitrust case. That's why I think even if there is no collective bargaining agreement, which that's the only thing that could truly fix this, even if there's not, maybe the conferences could come together, especially if they do the rev share idea that we've been talking about, and say, hey, let's at least as a conference say if a kid transfers out, he has to transfer out of the conference.
Yeah, well, I think that should be one of the rules. I think that would eliminate a lot of the most egregious versions of tampering, right? Because it's one thing to go from Florida to Utah, right? It's another thing to go from Florida to Tennessee. We just saw Trevor Etienne transfer from Florida to Georgia with no penalty, with absolutely no penalty. Now, if the head coach leaves or is removed, I think that should be a caveat to give you that it just adds a free transfer year. There's the happy medium there. When you talk about, this is what drives me nuts when people bring up coaches can go wherever they want and do whatever they want. Well, number one, that is their profession. Mm-hmm. Coaching is their profession. They went to school, they either played, they coached, they got their degree. Now that they're the head coach, they're also under contract. A lot of these coaches that go to other places, right? There are clauses in their contract where they may not get a certain amount of money if they do go to another place, or they may be in breach of contract or have to pay back certain amounts of money to go to other places. And if another place wants them, it's because they came and got them. It's not the coach is like, you know what? I'm tired of being here at Bowling Green. I'm just going to go coach at Florida State. Mm-hmm. That's not how that works. So I think we got to be able to separate the two. And there is caveats. And I went through them. It's not this huge, complicated process. But like you said, now anything that goes against the quote-unquote student athlete, which you might as well throw that out the window going forward, that term. I'm about tired of hearing that term already. If you're going to be in the part of the business, yeah, student athlete. I don't want to see these commercials where I'm a student first. That's why it's student athlete. No, BS. The rules have changed now. It just, to me, when I look at the availability of being able to transfer, having that, I don't even want to call it a deterrent, but having a consequence if you've already transferred once or you want to transfer within the own conference, that's a good thing. And you brought it up, and every circumstance is different. But that happy medium of, hey, the head coach leaves, now you can go wherever you want. If you want to go from Tennessee to Arkansas, if you can, you can. If you want to go from Auburn to Alabama, you can. But we need to have rules set up. It's just like the NIL contracts. If it's just one-sided, right, it's going to create a problem. And at this point now, everybody's so afraid of getting sued, and we're going to talk about this when we get Pete on from On 3. You can't budge, you can't move. And now they're up at Capitol Hill doing what they do best, which is yelling at each other and everybody complaining, but nobody finding a solution. There you go. It's that simple. We could come together, hands across America.
No, I was thinking, would it be beneficial to create some sort of rule that's similar for coaches? You know, like if unless you get fired, you can't just jump to another school that's within the conference. Like we just saw the Buckeyes running back coach is going to.
Well, you can put it in the contract. Nothing's stopping anybody from putting that in the contract.
And that's the thing. Like, and so the players are saying, well, we don't have a contract, so we can't even collectively bargain. That's why something has to work through the conferences.
Well, that's what we've proposed.
Yeah.
When you sign, if you go to Auburn, right, you are signing, you know, you have the NLI. Yes, obviously you're signing a scholarship with Auburn, but it's also through the Southeastern Conference, right? That's a way for you to that's kind of your conductor of those rules, right? You want a rev share. You want us to give you part of this media rights money. Okay, well, you are signing up, all right, to not be an employee, but be part of the Southeastern Conference, and you are making money from it. Therefore, you have to follow our rules because there needs to be a governing body, right? We have to have a governing body. There has to be structure. It can't just be the Wild Wild West, which is what we have now, and the NCAA is disappearing. So there needs to be a governing body. There needs to be structure, but do it through the conferences. Hell, we're going to end up with 2 of them eventually anyway, so it's going to make it easy. We want to know what you think. We're going to get to the chat. David's going to be monitoring that today. But first, look, North Carolina just allowed betting. I'm going to get to sports betting when we get to It's Mid. But if you're going to bet, there's only one place to go, all right, especially if you're riding with the boys here at Crane & Company, and that's betonline.ag. With March Madness coming around the corner, I mean, it's already really here, if we're going to be honest. We got college baseball, Major League Baseball is right on deck. Yes, puns intended. NHL playoffs. We got the draft coming up. There's some great props there. BetOnline is absolutely the move. And guess what? We're hosting a March Madness bracket challenge with our friends at BetOnline, in which the winner will walk away with $50,000. And here's the kicker, all right? Even if your bracket is among the top 1,000 winners, you'll still be a winner, taking home some cash. So join the bracket challenge with us. For a mere $20, you can secure your spot in the challenge. Don't miss out and create your bracket from when it gets released up until March 21st. All right, so go to betonline.ag to place your bets, and then go ahead and get in line to create a bracket. Obviously, Selection Sunday is coming up this Sunday. Use promo code BOOSTER. You get a 50% instant deposit bonus of up to $1,000. So you lay $500, they give you $250. That's betonline.ag. Use our promo code BOOSTER. BetOnline, the options are endless, and you want to get in on that bracket challenge because we're live streaming day one, baby. We're going to be right there in the trenches with you, wondering why our bracket just went up in flames. We're going to have a hell of a time doing it. And speaking of a hell of a time, we got a Saturday special for you tomorrow. Let's play a little clip with a super special guest.
You wouldn't want me to be a robot. Okay, I would be doing a thumbs down to everyone. I would just be like, kill him. I'm like, kill him. I don't know why I say kill him. I don't want the person to die.
Yeah.
But every time I see them and there's an opportunity, it gets exciting. I'm like, kill him, murder him. So I am crazy when I watch these fights.
David, you got a great interview with Candace. She was so sweet to
talking
take some
UFC.
time, talk some UFC. You know, talking this crazy men and women sports thing, which we're going to get to here a little bit later, which y'all all know is absolutely wacky and nuts. Let's all, be upset and also laugh together. Let's go ahead and get to the chat, David.
All right, here we got Josh Bissett. He says, if only kids still cared about actually going through school while enjoying a sport they love at a school they love, what a wild concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's like watching videos of back in the 20s. Why is everybody skinny and happy? Like, it's the way it used to be. We can reminisce on the good old days, right? But the game has changed. Society has changed. We got to be able to adjust with it. Again, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. But we have to find a way to navigate forward, to find some happy medium. And I just laid it out. It's that Greg Sankey. Just give me, let me be your Robin. I'll be your Robin, right? Hell, I'll be even another sidekick, which I don't know enough about the Batman comics to know the other. I'm not being Catwoman, all right?
You be Catwoman.
No, you be Catwoman.
I already played a woman in a movie, and it went pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, $5 donation from Chase Mills. Delivering a route so I'll miss my first live show in like 3 months straight. Going to catch up when I get off. 5 more days, and we get Nerfy season, boys.
I know. Chase, appreciate it, buddy. Be careful on that route. You're definitely not going to want to miss It's Mid. And really the whole show. It's a fantastic show.
$5 donation from Chris Walton. Charlie's last regular season gymnastics competition is tomorrow. She would love another motivational speech to get her mind right. Crane & Co. is for the kids.
Yes. Yes. All right. Play the music real quick. You said Charlie?
Charlie.
Let's play motivational music on a Friday. Charlie. I've been this excited to talk about Charlie since the Chocolate Factory. Got a big meet. All right. We're going to be flipping. We're going to be jumping. We're going to be somersaulting. But all that doesn't matter, even though it low-key does, because you're going to win. You're a winner because you listen to Crane and Company. We do nothing but breed success. Ninja focus, all right? I've got a dub today. It's Flamin' Dragon Friday. Blaine didn't even show up, all right, because he's afraid. But you're not afraid, Charlie, and we're not afraid for you. Go out and finish strong. We believe in you. And remember, when you're doing that last big flip on that floor routine, or you're doing the rings or the vault or whatever, we're right there with you. Fly high.
That was nice, man.
Thank you.
All right. Let me catch up here. All right. $5 donation from Justin Alfieri. Good morning, y'all. I'm sick of my Villanova Wildcats. The whole staff should be fired. No tournament for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's weird seeing Villanova not make the NCAA basketball tournament. It's like watching your mom kiss another man other than your father. It's just like, this is y'all's thing.
Spoiled.
It's like Gonzaga. Like, I don't even think y'all play other sports. I know Villanova does have a football team, but I'll tell you what, you talk about pressure. Jay Wright built that place up, and it looks like it's crumbling. Could he come back out of retirement? He's still young, right? Maybe a couple phone calls have been made.
Got some
hey,
juice
listen,
left.
They hit the life alert button, or maybe he looked in the sky and it was the Villanova Wildcat signal. It's my second Batman reference in less than 20 minutes, so we're off to a good start here. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know how they overturned that call last night with that Marquette shot at the buzzer. I know Marquette ended up winning in overtime, but that was kind of controversial to me. There was a couple, that wasn't an upset. Marquette was favored. Villanova just snuck by DePaul, I believe, the night before. But man, they had Dixon. I mean, they had experience. It's weird.
Matty I says, I eat success for breakfast with a glass of skim milk. I just thought you'd like to hear that one.
Nice.
All right, let's get to some reactions here. The Chargers trading Keenan Allen to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. Allen, 6-time Pro Bowler, career high in catches last year, 108, 1,200 yards. Austin Eckler not with the Chargers anymore. Mike Williams has been released. We knew Jim Harbaugh was going to come in and make a lot of changes. Is this too many? And did they get enough for Keenan Allen with a 4th-round pick?
Well, I'm going to let Jim do it his way. I'm not going to question whether, who's getting moved. Now, I mean, you just get a 4th rounder for Keenan Allen for what he did last year? Man, I feel like I feel like he could have gotten more.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know Keenan's had some hamstring, issues, just like everybody else. He gets a little beat up going through the season. 2 years ago, he was out for a while, but only getting a 4th rounder for Keenan Allen, I wasn't obviously in on the conversation or in on the calls, but God, I feel like you could have got more than that.
Is this a, trade a player away before he starts to decline situation?
I mean, yeah, but if you're going to do that, God, can we get more than a 4th rounder? I mean, if we're going to try and strike while the iron's hot, let's get something while the iron's hot. I mean, maybe they're projecting that Keenan Allen's going to have a big drop-off. There were a lot of people projecting that Mike Evans was going to have a big drop-off this past year because the Buccaneers weren't going to pay him. Well, he goes out and balls out, gets a big contract, and comes back. And it's not like Mike and Keenan are 10 years apart. I mean, they're pretty close from an age standpoint. So this one, it almost makes me question whether or not this was a culture thing in the locker room. Maybe getting rid of Keenan Allen behind closed doors. I'm not saying this is the case, but if you're only getting a 4th rounder for him, it feels like you did want to move him. And again, I'm going to let Jim build it the way he wants to build it. He knows what he's doing. So, I was just kind of shocked at the return on the investment, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. And then we talk about getting Justin Fields pieces over in Chicago. This will pair him with DJ Moore over there.
Well,
get weapons.
Well, I don't know if it puts me more in the camp of they're keeping Justin Fields or if they're going to go get a quarterback and they want to surround him with veteran wide receivers to make it easier on him. But I will say the same thing about Justin Fields that I will about Lamar Jackson. Right now, up to this point, now adding Keenan Allen, the excuses are running out for Justin Fields for not putting a good product out on the field, right? And I know it's a team effort. We talk about football being the ultimate team sport all the time, but he now has weapons around him. It's getting to that point with Keenan Allen, with DJ, with Cole Kmet. I know Mooney got moved. We'll see what else the Bears do, because if they keep him, they can go get Marvin Harrison Jr. with that number 1 pick. And then there is absolutely no excuses. You got to keep, improving on the offensive line. But I want to see Justin Fields with weapons, because I still believe, and we're going to have calls, 1-855-236-3776. 3228. They're like, I can't believe you believe in Justin Fields. That's fine. Just give the man some pieces and watch what he does with them.
All right, the Seahawks are acquiring quarterback Sam Howell from Washington in exchange for pick swaps. The GM, John Snyder, said this is a move to get a solid backup for Geno Smith. Sam Howell's not coming in to compete for the starting job. But we've been talking a lot about Washington. This almost assures that they'll take a quarterback at 2 this year, right?
You think, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you look at what's on the roster that they're setting up. To me, I wonder, and obviously it's going to be dictated by what the Bears do at number 1. If you're the Commanders, do you make a move to get Caleb Williams? Are you going to take Drake May? Or are you going to take Jaden Daniels? This makes the first 3 picks so much more interesting to me because we were wondering, we saw what the Steelers did with Kenny Pickett, bringing in Russell Wilson, right? Well, the Commanders didn't keep their guy to sit him. They sent him to Seattle, which I don't think this is the worst thing for Sam Howell, to be honest. I think this he got thrown into the fire a little bit. We've seen flashes from Sam Howell, but now if you're the Commanders, you're sitting there at number 2. That pick got a lot sexier and it got a lot heavier. Right? If you were wanting to move out of that pick, whether it be forward or whether it be back. But now, if you're a team like the Patriots, how do you react to this?
Yeah.
Right? You moved on from Mac Jones, sending him to Jacksonville, looking like you're going to make a move for a quarterback in the draft. Well, now all of a sudden, still questions about who the Bears are going to get at 1. Are they going to take a quarterback? The Commanders pretty much answered your question now with what they're going to do at number 2. So do you have to now make moves to be able to get yourself in position to get the guy that you want, or do you just pick out, what's left?
A couple more here for the NFL. The Cardinals trade for Desmond Ridder now that Kirk Cousins has come into Atlanta.
Glad he's getting a check.
Backup Kyler Murray. Curtis Samuel agrees to a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Bills. This is after Buffalo lost wide receiver Gabe Davis to Jacksonville.
It's a replacement. I like Samuel. He's still got some good years left.
Yeah, I think so too. And then Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the best at just getting these wide receivers come in. He'll have his best year probably.
With that, Patrick Mahomes is smiling. The thing with Hollywood is, can he stay healthy? He's a kind of a scat guy. Incredible speed. He's got great long speed for a little guy. They'll find a way. God knows what Andy Reid's going to do with this little witch.
Oh,
he may pop out of a cupcake in the red zone.
He'll have the game-winning touchdown in next year's Super Bowl on corn dog.
Yeah,
on the arrow route.
Just something easy.
All right, let's recap some college basketball. Conference tournaments in full swing here. Duke already lost. We had Dayton got upset. Creighton got upset. What else were you seeing yesterday?
Well, it's, again, and you look at the SEC, Florida was able to survive Georgia. A&M beat Ole Miss for the second time, it feels like, in as many games, I believe. Our 2 out of the last 3, they beat the hell out of them when they went to Oxford. It's that time of year. Duke's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Duke is legitimately in trouble. And I got to agree, when I was on social media yesterday, I had a Duke fan just come out. He's like, dude, we're soft. They are. They are. I know Filipowski's young, but NC State just bullied him. And I know DJ Burns, who's 6'9", like horizontally and vertically. Like this, he's like 6'9", like 340. He just bullied him. Now, I know that's a big guy, but at some point, Duke's got to man up. I mean, we're in March. You're Duke.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Roach. You got McCain. You got Filipowski. There is no excuses at a place like Duke. They just got bullied yesterday. And listen, we give Turley, our producer, a lot of hell for NC State on this show. That's a huge win for them.
Yeah,
for Kevin Keats, too, who's on the hot seat there at NC State. It hasn't really worked out the way that a lot of people thought. But Duke goes down. Providence with a season-saving. I don't know how Providence, I believe they're still in the first 4 out, yet Seton Hall, who got rolled by St. John's yesterday, is still moved up to the last 4 byes. Like, what? I don't get it. Like, it should be you are judged by the games that you win in the most important times if you're on the bubble. Texas A&M should be in without a doubt. Won yesterday. Mississippi State should be in without a doubt. Won yesterday. I think Providence should be in after that win against Creighton. They've won 2 in a row. I believe they beat Georgetown, then they beat Creighton. We'll see. They're going to have to run into UConn eventually. Good luck with that. Yeah. But no, I mean, look, Dayton losing to Duquesne. I got questions about Dayton. They were everybody's darling. USF plays today. They play East Carolina. The SEC's in full swing. Pitt with a huge win over Wake Forest yesterday. I don't think Wake's going to get in the tournament after that loss, which, shout out to Jeff Capel for turning Pitt around. Man, it's just going to be fascinating. Tennessee plays Mississippi State today. Yeah. Auburn plays South Carolina today. Florida plays Alabama today. So, I mean, there's some fantastic basketball, and it starts at 10 o'clock, and it just keeps going, and I can't wait for it.
One more thing on the Duke loss to NC State. Filipowski had 28 and 14.
He had a good game, but he got bullied on the defensive end.
Here's what stood out to me. 0 bench points for Duke.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you have 0 points off the bench?
At Duke.
For Duke. Meanwhile, NC State had 21.
Yeah, you should have more depth in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. So a couple of those matchups you were talking about today, I mean, Tennessee's going to take the court today against Mississippi State. Is Dalton Knecht going to have 40-plus tonight?
Well, I like Tennessee in this game. I think they're a 10.5-point favorite when I saw last. But if you're Mississippi State, you had to have that win yesterday. It was win and you're in, basically. You struggled against LSU early. You came back. Hubbard was really good late, which watch out for this guy in the NCAA tournament. If you're going to betonline.ag using that promo code BOOSTER and you're getting your spot for the bracket challenge, which you need to be, watch Mississippi State now. Tolu Griffin down low. They got some size with Jeffries, but this Josh Hubbard kid is an absolute animal from Mississippi State, and he could win you a couple games in the tournament by himself. But they're going to be playing free, right? A lot of the pressure is off for Mississippi State. So to me, I feel like that really can show itself on the basketball court, playing with that freedom. I think Mississippi State may be a little bit more up and down. Not that Tennessee's facing any pressure. You could say after the North Carolina win yesterday, Tennessee needs to win to go ahead and secure that 1 seed, I believe, for the first time ever. So there may be a little bit of pressure there, but it's very hard to pick against this Tennessee team, which I tell you what, and I watched Houston yesterday, David, and God, Houston's good, but Dalton Knecht, for lack of a better term, could be that connection finally for Tennessee to not get stuck in those offensive ruts during the tournament.
Auburn minus 7.5 today against
Dude, I
South
saw it
Carolina.
minus. I got South Carolina plus 8.5.
That's a lot, man.
I mean, now listen, Auburn beat South Carolina by 40 when they played before, but that was in Neville Arena. I mean, that's basically where teams go for dreams to die outside of Kentucky this past year. So South Carolina's going to try and slow it down. It's going to be a physical game. I thought it was a physical game yesterday that South Carolina played. They were able to survive it against Arkansas, really blew them out late, but Arkansas gave them a fight. I think Arkansas was leading at the half, I believe, or maybe South Carolina was up 3 at the half. I think Michi hit one right before halftime, but it's going to be awfully physical out there and right down the street.
All right, let's keep going here. Got a lot to get to. Our friend Riley Gaines is suing the NCAA with over a dozen other college athletes. Says, hey, it's time to fight back. It's time to save women's sports.
Yeah, well, here we go. Yeah. Either you know what or get off the pot, NCAA. We're going to find out. Who'd have thought that we would have to have women suing the NCAA over Title IX, which was supposed to protect women's sports?
Yeah.
What bizarro world. What a bizarre thing.
They've really got themselves in a bind now.
They really have.
Title IX was supposed to be to protect women's sports, and now she's suing them in violation of that for allowing male swimmer Leah Thomas to compete in the national championship.
And so this could set a precedent, which you don't worry about. It's like the NCAA is breaking away from college football. I'm not worried about a chick going out there and playing in college football. It's just not going to happen. But could you get some sort of precedent set that prevents this? Because here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, these dudes that are playing in women's sports, and Dawn Staley yesterday during an interview at the SEC tournament, when she got asked about, how's your team's undefeated, would a loss have helped? She's like, we lose to our men's, the highlighters is what they call them, the men's practice squad.
She said that?
Every single day. She's like, there's not a day where we don't lose a drill to them. And South Carolina is dominating women's basketball at the highest level. What they're going to do is they're going to keep putting these dudes in cycling, and swimming, and these sports that are on the periphery, not saying they're not important, but the ones that maybe aren't as mainstream as the other ones. The minute some dude goes out there and is playing basketball for like Duquesne's women's team, and he's dropping like 40 a night, and he's like some D3 player who couldn't even play on a D3 team, they know it's over. Because everybody's going to be like, yeah, you can't do this. But see, they can get away with it in these smaller sports. And they're like, see, look. But the minute it goes mainstream, I think this will set a precedent. Good for her. Look, and we're going to get Riley on. It's just, we have so many other problems that we need to be solving. The fact that we even have to entertain this is so asinine and stupid. That's what it is. It is truly a waste of time. Not what Riley and them are doing. They're trying to fix it. But the fact you're having to go about this and have to do this is a complete waste of time.
If only we made a comedy movie about this.
I know.
Maybe people would stop.
Check out Lady Ballers.
We're going to get Riley back on soon. She'll be back in the studio, so y'all stay tuned for that. All right, the Players' Championship. Let's give an update quickly. You know, a lot of drama yesterday. Rory McIlroy's tied for the lead. Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, all three of those guys tied for the lead, shot 7 under 65. And that was with Rory hitting 2 balls in the water off the 7th tee. So he's the 5th player to make 10 birdies in a single round at the Players.
I don't like this cat.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to shoot 95.
Well, the full swing too. It's made me like Rory even less.
Really?
He's an incredible golfer. I don't like him. I don't think I'd like him if I met him in person, to be honest with you. He seems fake to me. But the Wyndham Clark story's really wild. Watching kind of Wyndham's rise in a full swing, season 2, it's on Netflix. I highly suggest it. Wyndham Clark lost his mom, had a ton of problems with anger on the course to the point where his caddy and the people around him were like, if you don't get like
I
help,
feel you, Wyndham.
Yeah. Oh, believe me. Nobody gets more pissed than me. It actually made me feel good about myself watching the highlights of him getting angry. But he got the right sports psychologist, totally changed him.
Wow.
Then he won a major last year. You see the way he's playing this year. Just a really cool story, man. It's I really highly recommend Full Swing on Netflix. I don't recommend a lot of stuff on Netflix, but Full Swing season 2 has been off to a fantastic start.
I love it. All right, let's pull up the tweet from Alabama softball, please. Alabama softball beat Florida State 4-1. Do we have the full tweet? And
is this the one that said you can't blame the committee this time?
Yeah.
That was.
Did you see that?
Look, we know that Florida State got screwed, right, last year. Not saying that Alabama wasn't one of the 4 best teams, but they got screwed. Alabama beats them 4-1 in softball. Both these are very, very talented softball programs. And they tweeted out the final score with, you can't blame the committee this time.
It said, can't blame the committee tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But, like, I think sometimes you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Some Florida State fans will be upset. I thought it was funny.
I thought so, too. They won the tweet game.
They won the tweet game.
Someone said 2 wins for Alabama today.
Definitely. No, it's good. I can laugh. We got to be able to laugh.
All right, do we have the video of Xavier Legette
Oh, this is great.
talking?
This is great. Listen to this accent. Let's play this. Xavier Legette, South Carolina wide receiver. He's going to the NFL, going to be a hell of a player. Let's listen to him talk.
Whether you're taking a pitch or catching a short pass or catching a deep ball, what would you say are the best parts of your game that help you get into the end zone so often?
Oh, man, I'd say the deep ball, man. But I really feel like any way that I get the ball in my hand, I could get it to that end zone.
I just know I would be best friends with this guy.
That makes me want to draft you even higher.
The trust factor goes up.
It goes up.
When you're country like that, like I already know, like
country.
we can eat breakfast together.
Dude,
we can hang out together.
I guarantee you, just after listening to that small clip, Xavier Legette is unbelievably cool.
You get some Randy Moss vibes there?
A little bit. I'm telling you, man, and you hear the way that some of these GMs are talking about him, oh boy, he's got a chance. He's really got a chance. I mean, he was a dog. Him and Spencer Rattler, I mean, that was the show.
Yeah, it was.
At South Carolina. So, look, I'm rooting for him, but that's country right there, buddy.
I love it, too.
That's country.
All right, let's bring up Dylan Mulvaney made a new music video. Do we have that? Do we have that clip?
Oh, why?
About being a girl.
It's 7:03 in the morning.
About being a girl. This will get you woken up in the morning right here for sure. Play this, please. Yeah. The days of girlhood, Jake.
Dude, stop.
We have a code pink, Jake. Girls like me gotta learn the basics.
Tyler Fisher did the best impression of Dylan Mulvaney and Lady Ballers ever. If I was China, I would invade right now. It's
like the second you saw that?
The minute that popped up. All right, here we go.
Like you're just scrolling TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's like, all right, hey, let's do it. Look, I'm just gonna call it, that's gross. It's gross. It's gross. Oh, but it's just.
Like, how are women not infuriated?
That's so disrespectful.
Like, it's just a slap in the face to them.
That's so disrespectful to y'all. It makes women look stupid.
We got a code pink emergency.
They gotta learn the basics, David.
Maybe that's his Flaming Dragon
just
Friday.
Sipping champagne. What did Tyler say in the movie? I've been sipping shit rosé. Taking benzodiazepines all day. Dude, I don't know how y'all let this slide. I don't know how y'all let it slide. It's just gross. I don't want to see that Sono 3.
Okay, one more before we get to a special edition of It's Mid.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about this, and this comes from one of our boys, Brian Hoffman, co-writer of Lady Ballers. He sent me this clip. The Dodgers have once again renewed Andrew Toll's contract, who hasn't played since 2018, so he can continue to receive health insurance to treat schizophrenia diagnosis and bipolar disorder. Pure class from the Dodgers.
Good on them. Well, when the Dodgers do stupid things, we'll say that they do stupid things, but when they do great things, we're going to say they do great things. That is fantastic. It shows you, again, kind of another avenue of the way sports helps people, and that's something we talk about all the time. But speaking of time,
here we go.
Since Flamin' Dragon was scared to take that L today, I'm going to get this podium over here. It's the Jake Crane version of It's Mid, and ain't nobody safe out here. All right? So, play the graphic. I'm taking this over. Here we go. It's Mid. All right? I'm going to start by taking a shot close to home. Blaine's handwriting. It's terrible. It's like an Egyptian child writing hieroglyphics with a blindfold on after drinking 9 cups of juice. How can you be an adult, have a driver's license, be able to get on a plane, and you can't write normal or legibly? Figure it out. Get a stencil. Grow up. Number 2, raspberries. Worst of all the berries. All right? Best berry, Halle Berry. Second best berry, strawberries. I don't even like blueberries, but I can respect them. Raspberries are gross. I've had them twice. They make me sick. You shouldn't eat them. We should throw them away or just give them to animals. 3, the Panthers front office. You guys are either drunk, stupid, or both, or you're doing it on purpose. I mean, at this point, you look at some of these moves, and I don't know how. If you're a Panthers fan, you should be allowed to get out of your fandom without it taking a notch out of your loyalty card. I am telling you, if you don't want to be a Panthers fan anymore, you're not the problem. They're the problem. I think they're trying to burn it down on purpose. Everybody involved that's made any decision with the Panthers over the last 3 to 4 years, you are actually 5 to 6 years, you are the problem. It is you. Number 4, Jimmy Kimmel, and really late night TV in general. The dude's not funny. He's not funny. Not only that, he wants to be the morality piece, but morality police. Buddy, let me tell you something. Talk about other people. Oh, this guy's bad. This guy's evil. When I grew up, I used to watch you on Comedy Central at night, and when you were going to commercial, I'd watch girls in bikinis jumping on trampolines. I used to watch you air hump women walking past them on the street. You went blackface, dog. Like, at what point do you have no shame? And you're not even funny. Seth Meyers, not funny. Stephen Colbert, used to be funny. Now not even close to funny. John Daly's still funny, in my opinion. He's the only one that can save it. But outside of that, Jimmy Kimmel's definitely the worst. Please keep hosting the Oscars so I don't watch it. Number 5, states that have a lottery but don't have sports betting. I need somebody to explain this to me. Please hold my hand like a 3-year-old walking in Walmart and explain to me how you can have a state lottery and that's okay, but we can't have sports betting. You know, you don't have to be John Brinkus, the best scientist in sports, to realize you have a whole hell of a lot better chance of Auburn hitting -8.5 than you do a win in the lottery. So if it's really about not trying to take people's money, don't have the lottery and don't have sports betting. But if, I don't know, you're the state of Georgia, how in God's name can you have a lottery and not have sports betting? It makes no sense. You're the problem. Number 6, airplanes. It's 2024. How am I not teleporting anywhere by now? We had the A-bomb in the 40s. We apparently went to the moon in the 60s. Yet I still have to go get in a tin can that y'all can't even build right and fly hours across the country. I should be able to teleport. Either you're holding back or we've gotten dumber. I really hope it's the first one. And then, next, people that watch people play video games. This is a big pet peeve of mine, okay? I understand if you want to stay at home and play GTA. All right, that's your decision, right? And just eat pizza rolls, live a 5,000-pound life, that's fine. I've got no problem if you want to be on TLC. But people watching other people play video games, I think years from now, we're going to realize it's a mental disorder. Then, second to last, John Travolta. Can't act. Not a good actor. Listen, I'm a professional actor. I know. John Travolta's not. Yeah, he can dance. He can dance a little bit. That's great. You know what those are called? Dancers. He's not a good actor. You didn't have to be a great actor to be in Pulp Fiction. Quentin made it great. All right, and then last, and definitely least, and the worst, this guy. Play the clip.
My name's Charles Palabino. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Beaver Creek, Wisconsin, and my wife, Juniper, and I have been married now for 12 years.
She's not real. It's
She's
his
not real?
imaginary friend.
No way.
Yes, David. This is a real person.
Wait, his wife?
His wife is his imaginary friend. He just fake kissed her.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be honest. If I'm in Beaver Creek, Wisconsin, this guy needs to be on a list. Like, somebody needs to have his eyes. Somebody needs to have their eyes on this cat. All right, that's bad. Listen, I grew up with an imaginary friend. His name was Plato. He could speak Italian, right? And we made great meals and we went on adventures together. And then I turned 5 and started liking girls. God, figure it out. That's It's Mid. How about that?
Did they make a movie about him, Lars and the Real Girl?
Yeah, I thought it was Manti Te'o.
All right, we're getting some good feedback. A lot of people like raspberries, though.
No, the
A lot of
raspberries,
people like raspberries.
They're mid.
Best berry, 1,000%. A lot of people are saying it's called It's Mid, not It's Terrible. You're listing a lot of terrible things here.
No, mid to me is terrible because I expect excellence.
Okay.
If it's not excellent, it's terrible. And it's my version of it. So that's just how it is. So get used to build a bridge, get over
I
it.
said agree 1,000% on Kimmel, and someone said raspberries are disgusting. So
They are disgusting. They're the worst of all the berries.
Alan Adams, interesting trivia here. Strawberries and raspberries aren't really berries in the botanical sense. They are derived from a single flower with more than one ovary, making them an aggregate fruit. True berries are simple. So you can take that with you.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that, but I ain't got time for that. They're berries. They end in berry.
All right, let's get to $5 donation from Peter Dvorsakis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say anything, though. He just left us money.
Appreciate it.
Hey, we love you, Peter.
We'll take
Thank
that.
you. $2 donation from Humping Badger. Hey, replacement cone, can David even throw 20 yards? Good luck getting an answer
Yeah, he
on
can
that
throw
one.
20 yards.
All right, more donations here. $10 donation from F3 Shake and Bake. Something missed in this combo is that a degree from these universities is continually losing value. Most conservative Americans don't want to send their kids because it's become evident that it's a scam. He's talking about the transfer portal. That it's not missing from this combo because we talked about this yesterday.
That's exactly right.
Or this week anyway.
I'm going to tell you about a guy who's not missing from this combo anymore. Our buddy Pete Nakos from On 3. You know, I'm going to tell my kids this is Pistol Pete. All right, the dude's everywhere. Dude's the ultimate grinder, does a fantastic job keeping up with literally everything that's going on in the sports world. Pete, welcome to Crane & Company. Your inaugural show appearance, and I know we're going to have you back, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. How's it going?
Going good, man. Do you like my It's Mid? What do you think about raspberries? Be honest.
I'm more of a blueberry guy.
You know, I can accept that.
There you go.
I can accept that. Pete, you know, we started off the show talking about the transfer portal. You know, you talked about the new memo or the guideline that's been, I guess you could say, extended to where now, during the current academic year, you can transfer for a second time or a third time, apparently, without any kind of consequence. Can you kind of tell our audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the lawsuit kind of playing out in Ohio right now, and obviously the preliminary injunction there that like kind of forced the NCAA's hand on this, right? Like this is, I had someone like an athlete reach out to me. He's like, so when I get to college, I can transfer as much as I want. I was like, not really, man. Like this is like just this year. But yeah, it's a wild time in college sports. So like someone who transferred in December has a really good case to transfer again in this like spring football window.
Well, it's almost like you better get in while the getting's good right now, and hopefully, you know, we can have some sort of structure moving forward once we get a governing body after they break off from the NCAA. I do want to ask you, Pete, because this is something that people have asked me. Is this the last year that you get the COVID year, or is it the next class? I know we're getting close to the end of having that extra year we saw for COVID. Is it this year or is it next year? Do you know that?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can definitely tell you that we're at the very end of it.
Thank goodness.
If it's not this year, then like there's a couple left next year. But yeah, it's very minimal at this point.
Well, that's been one of the biggest problems I've heard from high school coaches and a lot of college coaches is that high school spots are getting taken by guys who are, you know, and look, take advantage of the rules. Like I say, the same thing about taxes. right? You know, you can take advantage of loopholes, take advantage of it. But there's so many high school spots and junior college spots that are getting taken up because guys can play 6, 7, 8. I mean, hell, Dylan Gabriel's in year 13. I mean, he's going to make more money in college football than he's going to make in the NFL. So I'm excited for that to get done so we can get some more spots for high school.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, the underlying part of this whole conversation is, you know, are college athletes going to be able to collectively bargain so that they can determine, you know, exactly the windows for the transfer portal or payment or health insurance, all this kind of stuff. You know, Dartmouth basketball is something that we've been talking about for the last 6 to 8 months now. Can you update us? What is the latest when it comes to Dartmouth basketball? We know they got the 13-2 vote on the team to be able to join the local union, but can you update us on everything in the appeals process and just where everything stands?
Totally. So, right, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, or last week, right? They voted 13-2.
Yep.
Sorry, days are flying by these days.
Oh, but, I know. Believe me, I know, brother.
Yeah. So, right, they vote 13-2. They beat Harvard that night. They're formerly union. And now the most latest is they received their certificate from the NLRB yesterday, really like certifying that vote. And now you have Dartmouth starting this appeals process. And even if the National Labor Relations Board, right, the national body that operates out of DC, ratifies the vote, right, and the Dartmouth appeal fails there, then it will probably go to the federal court system and make its way up to the Supreme Court at some point.
Yeah.
So I've said there's 3 possible outcomes for this situation. I want your opinion on what you think is most likely, or if there's another solution that we're not thinking of here. I mean, one, you know, this idea that you becoming an employee as a term is synonymous with all of a sudden you get a salary is insane to me. Like, there's not any profit being driven, right? So just because, hey, I'm an employee now, by the way, I want $250,000, that doesn't mean your boss says yes to that, right? So Dartmouth could just shut down the basketball program because it's not driving a profit. 2, Dartmouth could just say, hey, we have an Ivy League endowment, okay, with several, you know, tens of millions of dollars. Let's just foot the bill at a net loss and get a PR win out of this and say, hey, we were the first school in the country to treat our basketball team like employees or student athletes like employees. Or 3, they just say, hey, this is now a club sport, so the coaches can't tell you what time to be anywhere. They can't tell you you have to practice or be at a game at a certain time. It's more like a club sport, and for that, you're not employees, but you also don't have to be at practice at a certain time.
I think that Dartmouth is going to either do the first or third thing you mentioned, right? They like make them a club sport, or basically are like, we're not going to negotiate with you. And the comments they've made since the vote, it's been very clear that Dartmouth does not feel that these athletes are employees. Yeah. At the same time, right, like if Dartmouth does take that course of action, there's going to be quite the backlash. And I mean, there's also some NLRB rules that are going to, and just like employee rules that are going to hit Dartmouth, and it's not going to be like this really like clean ruling that like, hey, we're not going to negotiate with these athletes. I think what we do see happen though is I think that, right, the NLRB, right, under Joe Biden right now is very they want athletes to be employees. Like, they want college athletes to be employees. Like, the general counsel for the NLRB has come out and said that if we see a change of tides in DC in the next presidential election, I think that could really make an impact on this employee conversation that we're currently having.
What if this is just a 4D chess play? What if the Dartmouth players are just tired of playing basketball? What if they're like, what's a way that we could get the program shut down, but it doesn't look like, you know, we're quitting? Like, dude, let's just become employees. We don't make any money. That would be the funniest thing ever. You cry and complain about not being employees. You become employees, and they shut you down. That would be the funniest thing ever. Then you
take the opportunity from generations of people who would love to go play a sport there at Dartmouth.
At Dartmouth, but again, it's y'all's fault. Y'all did it.
But now they're
I didn't do it to you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but they're asking for all of the Ivy League sports to join them in collectivization, right? So correct. What if that happens? I mean, we had Ron DeSantis on this show, who was a baseball player in the Ivy League. Like, are no more sports opportunities going to happen? Because
I don't know. I think we may be better if there's no Ivy League. I think we just should.
No Ivy League or no Ivy League sport?
No Ivy League schools.
Okay.
If we're going to be honest. But now,
good luck with that one.
Yeah, Pete, I do want to say this. 2026, we've seen now it is really looking like there's going to be a 14-team playoff. I know there's some sort of deadline or something I saw You guys talking about this and Heather Dinich talking about this yesterday. Can you kind of update our viewers on what's going on for the 14 team, or maybe even more than that, right? I mean, I don't even think they're limiting it to 14.
So I think we're going to see 14 teams in 2026, right? And the big deadline today has to do with revenue distribution in the Big Ten and the SEC. We'll probably kind of like land at 58%, right? And it used to be 80% that they split between the conferences. So it's a significantly more. I think that the 14 team, though, right? That's just the starting point, right? We let them get to 12. We let them get to 14. Why would they not get to 16? Because you know what comes with 16? More money. And that is, I mean, that at the end of the day, that's like what people are really not basing every decision off of, right? But if there's an opportunity to make more money, I think that's what some of these business leaders are doing in college sports right now.
Yeah. Well, it's all about the money. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Just like everything in life, it's all about the money. You know, Pete, I'm just, and I'm talking about this a lot, and I want to get your thoughts on this because you're very tapped into what's going on there at the like molecular, cellular level of this. They've kind of backed themselves or walked themselves into a corner a little bit because all we've heard about over the last 7 to 10 years, and it's a good thing, is player safety, right? We've heard about CTE. They're not hitting as much in practice. Well, the more, they can't add, if you're going to add more playoff teams, you're adding more games. And at some point, you're going to have to start taking games away from another place because they can't justify on one hand, hey, we care about player safety, but here, go play 20 college football games. You know, like, do you see it get, I don't think they're going to, I saw Reese Davis talking about, you know, they may eliminate the conference championship games. I don't think they're going to do that because that gives you the automatic bid into the college football playoff. They almost go hand in hand, and that's one of the biggest money-making games and determinants of who wins a conference. So are we looking at a reduction in regular season games probably coming down the pipe? Because if it's already going to 14, their ass is going to 18 at some point.
So you touch on a lot of things that I agree with. Conference championship games are never going to go away. Like, that is a huge money maker. Okay. Second, I think that we're starting to see it with these bigger conferences, but like, I think that we're headed towards a college football season where you don't really see as many of these FCS games, right? Like, everyone loves a good bye game. Those are going to have to go away if the Alabama and Georgias and Ohio States are going to start playing into like late January and even like trying to get closer and closer to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I think that we're not there yet, but if we go to 16 teams or something like that, I think there's going to be a huge referendum on like, okay, how long is the college football season? And I know we were just talking about Dartmouth employees, right? But like, then the conversation also has to probably turn to, if they're going to continue to add games onto the schedule and make more money off these athletes, revenue sharing has to probably happen.
Yeah. Without a doubt, you can't. I mean, that's another bucket. I mean, those are 3 buckets you're having to juggle at once to be able to figure out. I mean, it's a wild time right now.
Hey, Pete, another thing here. I played high school football in Georgia. I saw Rusty Manziel tweeting out yesterday that the Georgia high school coaches voted against or issued a statement against the June signing period. What's the latest on that?
You know, so I think a lot of college coaches like that idea. I don't think a lot of high school associations like the idea. And I think that's because they get a front row seat of athletes make really quick decisions when they're deciding on schools. You guys know it better than everyone, but decommitments are like, that's just like common occurrences. Like, maybe 20 years ago it wasn't, but not these days. It's really easy to ask my guy Hayes Fawcett for a decommitment graphic. So I think that a lot of high school coaches get a front row seat at this. And then I also think that they think there'll be implications too to their high school football seasons, right? If I commit to Auburn, right, in June, why am I going to go play a high school football season?
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten to that point. I mean, opting out of it. We've actually seen it before. Some guys shutting it down early in high school seasons to be able to go play. Or, you know, I mean, it used to be, hey, I'm going to go to IMG. I may transfer a year, go play a year at IMG, but at least I'm still playing at this, you know, professional athlete, you know, factory maker, which is IMG. But Pete, man, great stuff. Great to have you on. You're absolutely tapped in. Tell everybody where they can find your work at On3. I'm telling you guys right now, if you haven't heard this name, you haven't watched this guy, you need to follow him on social media. He will keep you up to date. They're doing a great job over there at On3.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.
All right, Pete. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Pete Nakos On3. Check him out. Dudes, again, I'm going to tell my kids that's Pistol Pete. All right, we got the phone calls here in, going to get to them in 1 minute, but I do got to tell you, right? Speaking about here in the news. All right, let's talk about Raycon for a second. What is Raycon? They're headphones that are anything but ordinary, right? You've been wearing ordinary headphones. I'm about to fix that for you. They're sleek, they're comfortable, and they're designed for the ultimate audio experience. They aren't just a tool, they're a mood enhancer, a companion that transforms anything we use them for. They feel like an extension of ourselves. They got optimized gel tips, feel fantastic. They're what I use, they're what David uses, and they're cheaper than going out there and spending oodles of money on a product that isn't even as good as what Raycon is giving you. They give you 8 hours of playtime. It's got a 32-hour battery life, and they're priced just right. You'll get the quality audio you know and love at half the price. Our favorite, using it in the gym. We know a lot of guys that go out there and get jacked and tan. All right, ladies too, that listen to Crane & Company while they're pumping iron in the gym or maybe running on that treadmill or doing that damn stair stepper. But if you want premium audio at the perfect price point, you've got to go with Raycon. So right now, go to buyraycon.com/booster today. You get 15% off your Raycon order plus free shipping. That's buyraycon.com/booster to score 15% off and get free shipping. Again, that's buyraycon.com/booster. Raycon, you best heard about it. All right.
Very well. Very well done.
Thank you. Great stuff from Pete there, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Phone lines are full.
Let's do it.
I say let's take some. Ethan in Seattle. Ethan, what's going on?
You sleepless or what?
Oh, boys, the state of Nebraska is on fire right now with Trevor Albert leaving. We're not happy.
He's y'all's Anakin.
I think since the initial shock of Trevor Albert's leaving is left, I think the anger and frustration from the fan base has squarely left Trev to the Board of Regents, because we haven't had a president since August, since they left for Ohio State.
What is going on out there, man? Like, how could how could the Board of Regents ever tell a Nebraska coach no or an AD no that they? I mean, this is y'all's bag. This is what's out there.
Exactly, and I totally agree with Tom Luganbill from yesterday, because absolutely it wasn't a money thing, because Trev was already in the top 10 of ADs paid in the country. So there's something going on with the board and the governor and not being able to get stuff done. So that doesn't really bode well. I'm a little bit nervous for that, and I don't really want like Fred Hoiberg or Matt Rule to leave because management is bad. So hopefully we can get someone in there soon. But that's beside the point. When you guys did your Big Ten record predictions or win totals for the season, you guys did not do Nebraska. So I was wondering.
You're talking about last year?
You're
talking about this year when we were just looking at the schedule?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I was wondering if we could get a win total for Nebraska, because honestly, with the schedule, there's not a lot of teams that scare me on our schedule.
So at that time it was the DraftKings, or was it the Bet Online at that point?
I think
we were pulling up.
I think it was the DraftKings one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. Are we assuming Dylan's going to start? Is that what we're assuming?
I would guess so. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, David, I know you got to
hold on just one second. Let me pull it up. Unless you know it off the top of your head, Ethan. Do you know?
Which would be unbelievably impressive. Don't y'all? No, y'all don't.
I thought it was 6.5. Hold on.
I think it's 7.5. Last I saw.
Let me see here. Let me pull up their schedule. Typically, this is Blaine's job, but he was running, so he's running today. We all know.
That's why, because they weren't on the list.
All right, I got their schedule. Well, if it'll let me pull it up, we'll look at that schedule. We'll get that schedule pulled up for you, Ethan.
Hold on, I do have one more thing for you though, Ethan, because we had a $10 donation from Trevor McClanahan. He said, "Lifetime Huskers fan here. It feels like Trev Albert's immediately retweeting about the intern AD hiring yesterday and asking Will Compton with Bussin' with the Boys to bring his bus to A&M is ridiculous." Do you agree with that comment?
Yeah, it's hard because I don't think he necessarily wanted to leave. I think he was just frustrated because, I mean, they're in the middle of a multi-million-dollar stadium renovation, and he's trying to get stuff done on his athletic department side, but then he's not able to when you have no leadership at the top.
Yeah,
right?
something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Right.
Yeah, something's getting lost in translation here.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well because miscommunication and mess ups from the Board of Regents are really what kind of started our downhill trend in the early 2000s, anyways.
Yeah.
So people are frustrated because it's like, well, it looks like the governor of Nebraska is trying to screw over Nebraska athletics.
God, you want to lose the governor's race as quick as humanly possible? Do that. I got their schedule pulled up. UTEP at home week 1 should be a win. Colorado at home week 2. Toss up new quarterback.
Payback.
Get them at home.
Payback game.
We'll see how Colorado is up front. Northern Iowa, which is never a walk in the park, at home week 3. Illinois at home week 4 at Purdue. Then you got Rutgers at home, Indiana on the road at Ohio State. You know, it's in the arms of the Angels. UCLA at home at USC. Wisconsin at home at Iowa. So give me one loss there. Man, I mean, I think getting to a bowl's doable with the young quarterback. Let's see, you beat UTEP, right? Let's say you beat Northern Iowa. Let's say you beat Illinois, that's 3. Let's say you beat Rutgers, that's 4. Let's say you beat Indiana, that's 5. Let's say you beat UCLA, that's 6. You get Wisconsin at home. I could see 7 and 5 out of there, and that's not saying that's without knowing if you beat Colorado or not.
Purdue,
right. Which we'll see with year 2 under their new coach. But no, give me definitely bowl game. Definitely bowl game.
Thanks for calling in, Ethan.
I think it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let's go to Michael in Texas. Michael, talk to us.
Good morning, boys. How are y'all doing?
What's up, dude?
Good. Y'all were talking about over/under. I know Flaming Dragon is not there, but
scared.
I've kind of kept track. Mr. 4th and 31, you hit the over 2 minutes into the show.
You talking about today?
Flaming Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't keeping track today.
I said 1.5, and you hit that 2 minutes into the show.
Yeah, well, I'm getting it out today. Is a forfeit. I mean, they didn't show up. Like I'm sitting over here throwing that nobody's in the batter's box. So I could say blame. You lost, dog. Like them's the breaks.
But the main thing I want to get to is I don't think Caleb Williams. I don't think he's going 1 or 2 in this draft.
Really?
With the moves that really not mainly the Bears, but what the Commanders did yesterday with trading Howell to the Seahawks. And I looked it up. Their offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury, and we know his last job in the NFL, he coached Kyler Murray. I predict the Commanders are going to take Jaden Daniels at 2.
Really? So are you thinking the Bears get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1?
Yeah, I do. So the Patriots get Caleb Williams. That's
wow. That would be look, man, this is the cool part about it. It could go 45,000 different ways right now, especially after that move yesterday. Well, see, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, if you're the Patriots and you saw that move, are you like, oh no? Like, because again, people talk, people negotiate. Are you going to try and maybe move up to get that second pick? If you're the Commanders, could you kind of dangle the carrot in front of them and then give them the stick?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to think of. Because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see how, unless the Bears trade Justin Fields, relatively soon. My thing is that the longer they hold off on doing anything with Fields, obviously increase the chance he stays in Chicago.
I agree.
And I don't know if you can get, beside a pick swap, you could probably get another first round next year, or maybe a second this year, first round next year. So that's part I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I can see it happening if the Bears trade back, but
if I'm the Bears, why do I not, with that first pick, since the Commanders look like they're going to go quarterback at 2, why would I not call the Patriots and say, hey, why don't you trade with us? We'll swap places and you'll give us another pick for later. We already have the 9th pick, so maybe you get a 3rd round, 2nd round, something like that. You probably get a lot more for that. Maybe a player, maybe compensation to go for the Patriots from 3 to 1. So the Patriots can, if they want Jaden Daniels, and you can still get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin
at 3.
Harrison Jr. at
so
3.
like, why would
get
you
Marvin Harrison
not do
Jr.
that?
You had Marvin Harrison Jr. with Keenan Allen, who they just got from the Chargers.
With DJ Moore?
I don't want to hear any
With
more
Cole
complaints.
Kmet? Yeah, no, you will
You
not
can't
hear
throw
a word
one
from me,
touchdown
David.
in 5 games.
You will
at
not
that
hear a
point.
word from me, brother. You will not hear a word from me about Justin Fields. It's like Lamar. You got the pieces now, buddy. Like, there's no more excuses now.
Thanks for those thoughts, Michael.
Hey, great call, Mike.
Appreciate
Great
it, man.
call, as usual.
All right, let's go to Scott. Scott in Oregon has some thoughts on Caleb Williams as well. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
What's up, bro?
Oh, not much. First of all, I was going to go off on Flaming Dragon Media and show up because Sunday is my level up day, and being born on St. Patrick's Day, you better bet I'm going to have a nice big bowl of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Hey, I tell you what, Scott, the more you talk, the more I like you, man.
My question for you guys was basically kind of what the last caller had up. Caleb Williams, so far all I've heard is, he's going to go number 1 or he's the best quarterback. How are these guys evaluated? Because looking at their college record, Caleb Williams didn't really do anything. I mean, he was 0-3 against Utah. So what makes him better than, say, Jaden Daniels, who was in the SEC, who set some records, Bo Nix, who did a great job, Penix Jr., who got to the championship game? What makes them better? What do you guys see as a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and David, obviously you played the position. You know better than anybody. In my opinion, I think a lot of it starts with early hype, right? I think Caleb Williams, from a skill set standpoint, to me, he's like the pitcher that can throw 3 to 4 pitches, can throw them in any count. He checks every box physically to me, right? He makes throws down the field. He plays in a style that it's very attractive, can garner a lot of hype. But I will say, and there's multiple things that go into making an evaluation, right? You have your on the field stuff, you have your off the field stuff. There's so many variables. What conference did you play in? What system did you play in? To me, I don't think his skill set is that much better than Jaden Daniels. And I think Jaden Daniels mentally is in a better spot than him. I don't think Caleb Williams is a better prospect than Jaden Daniels, in my opinion. I think a lot of it is early hype, right? You win the Heisman Trophy as a young guy. You play at a place like USC. It's sexy for a quarterback to play there. You play for Lincoln Riley, right, after coming over from Oklahoma. And he does make some plays that go, wow. You look at it and you go, wow. But overall, when I look at it, man, give me Jaden Daniels.
Well, if you just take what's on the field, I like what I see with Caleb Williams. I really do, man. Just from everything that he's able to do spatially and off-platform. It's the off-the-field stuff that I start to worry about, the mentality of coming into the NFL. Again, that may not just be him. That could be his camp. That could be his family. But at some point, it kind of falls on you. Doesn't mean he still can't be a great quarterback. We saw Eli Manning refuse to get drafted to the Chargers. He ends up winning 2 Super Bowls, right? I get it. When you say that he hasn't done anything, I get that it's not a good look to lose to the best defenses you face. When you play Utah, who has a very physical defense, and you can't beat them, that's not a good look. But he still was a Heisman Trophy winner, and more importantly, he got to study under the tutelage of Lincoln Riley. A lot of NFL teams are really going to like that. He had 3 solid years with Lincoln. So I agree with the previous caller that the closer the Bears get to the draft without trading Justin Fields, they're going to stick with him and move off of that pick. I don't know if another team really wants to buy into the hype of, hey, Caleb Williams is a generational talent, we have to move up and get him, or if we see him fall a little bit, it's just someone's going to go reach for him because more and more quarterbacks are drafted off potential.
Yeah. Well, and why not send in the medical stuff? That's what worries me the most. Like, not even the not going to the facility. I don't think that's a good look, right? But not turning in your medical stuff, to me, that means you're hiding something because you have no reason not to do that. You have absolutely no reason not to turn in, your medical stuff. That worries me because if you're just doing that to do it, then you're stupid or somebody's giving you bad advice. Which I don't want somebody that's surrounded by bad advice, right? Coming in as the number 1 pick. So I think there's a lot of question marks that come with Caleb Williams. But I mean, physically, he does, and from a football IQ standpoint, he's on it. He knows what he's doing as well.
This isn't the best draft to have question marks.
That's
because
very
there's
true.
too many other good options.
That is very true.
He's just the one quarterback coming out. But Scott, thanks for calling in.
Scott, great call, buddy. Enjoy that mint chocolate chip ice cream and happy level up weekend, my friend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Have a good level up, man. Call in next week. Let us know how it went. All right, let's go to William in Alabama. William, what's up?
Good morning, guys.
Good
William,
morning.
what's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying my day off work. Level up day today, level 29.
Wow.
Look at that.
You're almost a level 30. That's something.
Congrats, brother.
Yeah, I'm gearing up for that boss fight. I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you got to, again, it's the mentality, the way you look at it. You're increasing levels. You're getting closer to fighting the boss. That's a good thing, right? I mean, hell, you go back a couple hundred years ago, what was the life expectancy like? You'd be the town elder right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just at least you're living in this time.
Man, sometimes I feel like it, but
Well, I do, especially when I wake up.
but what I wanted to ask you guys today, so I've been a big sports fan, but you guys have inspired me to be a better sports fan. I don't follow the NFL or the NBA or the MLB. If you guys were going to make me a fan of those leagues, which team should I be a fan of to get me into those leagues?
Well, look, I'm gonna start off MLB. Like, I keep up with the NBA, but to be honest with you, less and less people care about the NBA every day, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. There's a team in Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right. They're the Braves. Okay. We play 162 regular season games. It's a long marathon only to get disappointed by Ryan Gate and the crew in Philadelphia, it seems like, here lately. But I think you need to become a Braves fan. Or we go to the NFL side. We're in Nashville. All right. We're repping the Titans.
I'm already a Preds fan.
All right, that's good. That means you're halfway there. All right, you can just come to the same city. You can get a double dose of both. Do I think we overpaid for Calvin Ridley? Yes. Do I think Will Levis is going to be a turnover machine? Kinda. I do. But we need all the help we can get. All right, new stadium coming.
Yeah.
Apparently it's going to have the biggest rooftop bar in the world, which I, for one, who's got two thumbs, excited about that? This guy does. So, Braves, Titans, William, welcome home.
Yeah, you don't have a choice on baseball, William. You live in Alabama. You're a Braves fan.
Yeah, you're a Braves
The rest
fan.
of it we can talk about.
That's true.
Where in Alabama do you live?
I live about 2 hours south of Huntsville.
Oh, no. What's your address? No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell us that.
Because then the Saints kind of come into picture is what I'm thinking. Like, he could be a Saints fan.
Look, it's that was the interesting part about growing up in the state of Alabama is that I really didn't have an NFL team. Yeah, it's either Saints or Falcons.
Yeah.
It's typically what you may have a couple Panthers fans. Well, you used to until like the last 4 or 5 years, and smartly a lot of them have jumped ship. I don't blame you. It's either you got Titans fans too. I think it's a triangle, right? Falcons, Saints, Titans. You kind of pick from those three. That's what I think.
Or you
Don't
just
be Cowboys.
randomly be a New York Yankees fan out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Those kind of people, you can't trust them,
Look,
William.
man, I've got self-respect.
Yes.
Thank you, William.
Thank you,
sir.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it. All right, let's move on to Steve in Knoxville. Steve, what's up?
Knox Vegas.
Happy National Kansas Day and happy Everything You Know Is Wrong Day from Knoxville, Tennessee, guys.
Everything you know is wrong day. What does that mean?
Means you don't know.
Yeah.
It's just on the National Day calendar.
I love it.
You can't trust that thing. I didn't get a vote in those things. Everybody's like, hey, today's National Cereal Day. Today's National, you're coming out of the closet day. I was like, I didn't get a vote on any of this.
Well, you need to know when that day is.
I don't need to know anything.
Yes, you need to know exactly when that day is.
Well, this is true. Jake is right. Raspberries are mid.
Oh God!
Wow,
terrible.
They're so mid. Again, yeah. When you expect greatness, mid is terrible. That's why I conform the two.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Steve.
Well, here's my dilemma. I'm expecting greatness out of my 12-year-old, which you've given a couple of motivationals to, Jake.
Yes.
But you may need to do a motivational because he watches YouTube way too much of other people playing video games.
Okay.
And it drives me batty.
Yeah.
But, I just don't understand it. I'm like,
what's his name, Steve?
Be playing the video game. His name's Ian.
Ian?
You know.
All right. Let's play the music. Ian, come sit down. Let's have a discussion. was talking to your father earlier. Not going to tell you when, but he's worried about you watching other people play video games. Here's an idea. How about you play them, bud? I'm not coming at you trying to tell you, you're making bad decisions, but let me help you make a good one, right? Instead of watching those other people play Fortnite, why not work on your abilities? Give your thumbs a workout. Hell, you may have abs on your fingers before it's said and done, all right? It's all about you competing, right? You're the man in the arena, not watching other people, right? Maybe if you're going to sleep and you just need some white noise in the background, I could get it. But if I'm gonna watch people do anything, it's play sports. Wait, that's what I do for a living, not play esports. You become the esportsman, Ian. I believe in you. Thank you.
There we go.
That's great.
There we go. There we go,
Hey,
Steve. I
thank you,
fixed it.
Steve.
Let me tell you something, guys. The worst thing about being a Vols fan during the Jeremy Pruitt era wasn't the cheating. It was that they let a girl score on them.
Yeah.
That was the worst. Letting a girl from, of all schools,
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
score on them. That was the lowest of the freaking low. And one last thing two things. I truly believe that the first thing you get from Jesus when you get into heaven is a big bowl of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
God, Steve, it
Steve.
is. Actually, I heard that the walls are made of mint chocolate ice cream in heaven.
And the last thing, guys, is I know what will help Dylan Mulvaney figure out what he really is that give him a big cup of Black Rifle coffee. Have a great day, guys.
All right, see
Tell
you,
him,
buddy.
brother. Thank
See
you,
buddy.
Steve.
Great call, Steve.
All right, let's keep it moving here, trying to get to everyone. Matthew in Arkansas, what's on your mind?
What's up, you guys? It is the Heartbroken Hog.
What's up, Matthew?
Man, our season is over. Assuming this team does not get invited to the invitational tournament, which I would doubt that they would.
I wouldn't go if they invited me.
This will be the first losing season since 2009, 2010.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, I think it's an anomaly for Muss. I think it was just, he got a bad combination in the transfer portal, and it just didn't work out. I mean, going into the year, what was Arkansas predicted to finish second, right? In the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, there was that. I think it was like John Fanta he was our national championship pick. We were. I mean,
and I like me some John Fanta. I want a Fanta, but that pick. Freeds and Cold Takes, I think, put something out on that pick. But no, look, it's baseball season. All right, it's Omaha season. You guys need to get it together and listen. Sam Pittman, it's either you know what or get off the pot this year. I just hope that Taylor Green, he can throw the ball better than what he did at Boise. I really hope that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys think Muss is coming back next year or what?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Got to. Can't go out like this.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go out like that. Not at all.
I hope so. I'd hate to see him going. These people that want Muss fired are absolutely nuts.
Yeah, thank God they're not in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. They can go be in charge of Nebraska.
Hey, thanks so much for calling, Matthew.
Matthew, appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate
Have a
it,
good
buddy.
weekend.
Let's stay in Arkansas. Let's go to Little Rock and talk to King Don. What's up, man?
Hey, y'all.
King, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey, guess what I'm calling in to talk about?
Flamin' Dragon being scared.
Packers.
Yeah, Dane's got it right in the money. So I'm going to say Wednesday was both one of the best days of my life and one of the worst days at the exact same time.
Tell us about it.
Well, we get an amazing. On Monday, I find out we have the best running back duo in the history of the NFL, more or less, with Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones. And then about 20 minutes later, it turns out, no, Aaron Jones is gone. And then I find out about a day later he's a Viking, and he's already going up there talking trash about the Packers and saying skull.
You could tell that was a bad breakup, right? Yeah. It's one thing, like, if we break up. It's another thing if we break up and you start dating my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, it's just to spite me.
Or if you just start dating my other ex.
Yeah, that is true. But especially if you're both girls, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's worse. Real quick, I want to talk about Justin Fields. So, I Are you guys a little bit surprised that he hasn't been taken by anyone yet? Because I'm not.
No, well, I've been saying the whole time, I don't think the Bears are going to move him. We heard the Raiders, and then obviously they did what they did. I mean, you're running out of spots, right? To eventually go.
Yeah.
Is you look at the Vikings. Yeah, Sam Darnold all of a sudden shows up. But look, I think they're going to keep him in Chicago, and I think they're going to try and give him a chance with some of these ancillary pieces around him, which I think is the right move. I know you're a Packers fan, King Don, and I think some people confuse that I'm saying Justin Fields is going to win the MVP at quarterback. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't put it past him to freak out for 1 year or a couple years, but I do think he's talented. I do think he hadn't had a fair
As a Packers fan, what would you rather see? The Bears trade Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, or the Bears, they already have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore right now, keep Justin Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Justin Fields.
As long as he's on the team, you don't care.
Justin Fields from the pocket. With Justin Fields from the pocket, I heard this on, I think it was Colin Cowherd's show, is that he has 27 touchdowns and 23 or 25 interceptions from the pocket. It doesn't matter if you have good wide receivers, is if you're not running you're not deciding to run, you can't hit him. Plus, he has the longest time to throw of any quarterback at 6.9 seconds. Also, his team's winning percentage since he's been there, with him starting, is around is somewhere in the 20s. His team's winning percentage while he's there and he's not playing quarterback is in the 40s.
Well, I do want to say this. I think that time in the pocket can be a little bit misleading because he creates time in the pocket or in the backfield for himself. I mean, there's a lot of scramble drill plays.
A lot of time to throw interceptions.
Well, again, I will say receivers do have to help you out even from the pocket. I mean,
look, I always like to blame it.
Again, he's got to play better. He's got to play better. It sounds like you sound like a quarterback.
Yeah, you sound like a quarterback, and I love it.
Having 2 free wins every year and not losing to the Bears for 5 years straight.
Well, y'all got a good thing going in Green Bay. I don't think it may matter what happens in Chicago, honestly. I'd be more worried about Detroit.
Xavier McKinney, I don't know if y'all saw that. We got him, but last year he was the #1 coverage coverage safety, according to PFF.
And y'all needed help there bad.
Completion when targeted, he had the quarterbacks had the lowest completion of any other DB in the league.
Yep. I mean, he's good except when everybody but Sean Shivers is running at him.
Appreciate it, King Don. Thank you, man. Don. All right, last caller of the day. Let's get to Kirk in Canada. Kirk, what's up?
There he is.
Hey, boys. I know why Blaine didn't show up to work today.
Tell us.
Because the Flyers played the Leafs last night.
How bad was it?
How bad was it?
How bad was it?
Right now, the goalie, Urson, for the Flyers is in a Philadelphia hospital with a bad burn on the back of his neck because that red goal light wouldn't stop going on.
No way.
So it's 12.5 points, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
12.5 points.
Yeah. Going into last night's game, the Leafs were up 6. Flyers could have knocked it down to 4 points, but now it's 8 points because the Leafs laid a beaten 6-2 down on the Flyers.
It's coming down to it.
Wow.
It's coming down to it, Kirk. I can't wait. I'm ready for some playoff hockey as well. That's when I get excited. That's when I start. It starts tickling my face.
Kirk, is this your 1-year anniversary calling into the show?
Yes, sir. Today is the day I called in. I was more nervous than a 12-year-old boy at a dance, asking a girl to dance when I called in the first time.
Hey, well, but, Kirk, we love you, buddy. You rep Canada big time for us, man.
Oh, awesome. So before I let you go, I'm going to give you the top 6 odds of winning the Stanley Cup.
Hit me with it.
All right, number 1, Florida Panthers. They made some incredible moves. They proved
at least one Panthers organization isn't sucking.
Let's see. Number 2 is, let me look it up here, Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon could win the Hart Trophy as MVP instead of Connor McDavid. It's going to be one of those 2 guys.
Yep.
Number 3 is the Edmonton Oilers. Number 4, Carolina Hurricanes. Number 5, Vegas Golden Knights. And number 6, the Dallas Stars.
Where the Leafs at, dude?
Yeah, we don't have much as far as defense or goaltending. We can score goals, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. If we get into the second round, I'll consider that a good season.
For sure. Well, listen, you just got to finish 12.5 points ahead of the Flyers for it to be a good season in my book there, Kirky.
Appreciate it.
That's
Skyhook.
Thanks so much, man. All right, that's all the calls for today. Thank y'all for calling in. That was great.
All right, guys, let's get to bets. Brought to you by betonline.ag. Use promo code BOOSTER so you won't be lame your whole life. All right, 2-0 yesterday, but nobody's talking about it. We're on to the next. I do want to say, and I don't want to jinx us, up 30 units as a group. That's really, really
30
good.
units, wow.
30 units. That's 5 people betting, which is hard to break even with 5 people betting. We're up 30 units this month, marching toward the money. Here's what I got tonight. It's one game. I got it surrounded like Napoleon at Waterloo. Give me Florida +4 against Bama. Let's go off at -110 in the SEC tournament. And then I'm going to take the over. Florida at Bama at 170.5. David, what do you got?
I like it. I'm going to take Kentucky -5.5 against Texas A&M, -110 on the odds. And then Nebraska taking on Indiana. I'm going to take them -3.5, -110, looking for their first win in this NCAA tournament when it starts.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird to see Nebraska's 0-7 all time in the NCAA tournament. It's conference tournaments right now, but David's talking about the NCAA tournament. That just blows my mind. Ace. He's going to take the Gamecocks +7.5 against Auburn today. That's a -110. Then Illinois, not Illinois. Illinois -4.5. That's at -110. All right, David.
Try and get to all these donations. First here,
Matt
Wright said Duke had 0 points off the bench because we only played 2 guys off the bench last night the whole game.
Still,
it's kind of surprising too. 2 guys off.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you still can't score.
0?
Like 0?
Surprising.
Hell,
all right.
Put me in, man. I'll make a 3.
$10 donation from Matt Stivers. This year feels like one of those years where Sparty is going to show up in March and go on a crazy run after having a pedestrian regular season. Your thoughts? I've been wondering this for the past 6 weeks for Michigan State.
Well, is this Tom Izzo's swan song? Is this it? All right, we've seen the changing of the guard, Roy Williams, Coach K, Jim Boeheim. Tom Izzo's up there, man. He's up there. And, you know, Tyson Walker, this is his last go-around. I feel like he's been at Michigan State for 35 years. Hell, to be honest with you, it feels like Hogard's been there for 35 years, even though he hasn't. And then you got Hall and the rest of it. They're good enough. I mean, it's Michigan State. Nobody plays a hard schedule in those guys.
Maybe it's good for them to come in flying under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Go on a run.
They got that kind of toughness. Yeah.
All right, $20 donation from Syrup Potatoes. Jake is a star.
Really? Your dad finally said something good about me.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I just tweaked it a little bit.
What is it? Yeah, I'm sure. Sure, potatoes.
All right. What am I missing? Other donations back? Can y'all help me out? Oh, here we go. I got Barrister JM $10 donation. Ask the Panthers. Oh, are the Panthers trying to pull a major league? Tank the team to move cities. Also, Scrapple is amazing. Barrister, yes.
The Panthers are the Scrapple of the NFL. They're not amazing.
That's false.
Listen, at this point, I'm not putting anything past them. It's so bad, something's up. Something's up. You can't be this bad at your job, like for this long, like over multiple people. Like I feel like there is something up. Like where y'all trying to go? I mean, again, I hate it, right? I know there's people in Charlotte that don't want them to move. But at this point, it looks nefarious to me.
$5 donation from Ryan Gade. Lines were too full, couldn't call in, but trivia question. What is the last NL East team to win a pennant and make a World Series appearance?
Let me guess, Ryan, the Phillies.
I wish I had read that before I read it. Then I could have just skipped it. But
yeah,
either way.
I'm so ready to I'm going to be sweating through all these games come Major League Baseball regular season. Just, God, let the Braves just beat the Phillies. That's all I ask.
$20 donation from DWise188. While the Panthers deserve to be laughed at with the decisions the old front office made, this is the first time in 7 years I feel like the front office has a plan. Burns didn't want to play here. He turned down $27 million a year.
Still felt like you could have got more for him.
He wanted to be the highest paid defensive end.
Yeah.
He had 12.5 sacks the year before, but
Like I just feel like you could have got more for him. I'm just looking at there. Oh,
look at that.
If you're on audio, you got to see it. It's Blaine.
Okay,
yeah,
honor
what's the
poll.
poll? It's
We'll
Blaine
get to that in a
hanging out with
second.
Dylan
Hold on, we'll
Mulvaney
get to that in a second.
Mexico.
$10 donation from Freeway Jared. Been a Mizzou fan my entire life since the Big 12 North days. I remember Nebraska used to run it up on teams. No sympathy for that program. I take great joy pouring salt in their cornfields.
What does Jonah Hill say? People don't forget.
There you go.
I love it.
All right, I don't know if I forgot anybody else. Hold on, $5 donation from Josh Bissett. This trans movement should worry everyone. Protect our Second Amendment at all costs. Abolish the ATF. So there you go for that.
Okay.
$2 donation from Timothy from Green Bay. Is Wisconsin back? 16 threes.
Dude, that was
16.
nuts yesterday. The over-under that game was 125. They had like 60 at half. Like Wisconsin by themselves. That was a murder yesterday. If they keep playing like that, I mean, yeah, but I don't think offensively they're going to be able to recreate that.
Okay, if I forgot anyone's donation or missed them,
Blaine.
take it up with Blaine next week. I did the best I could. Is there a poll today, Justine, you said?
There is a poll. So the poll was, why is Blaine not here?
Okay.
1, he's on another vacation with Dylan Mulvaney. 2, he went to the border to protect it. Or 3, he joined Jake's old choir.
I'm going to say they said 1.
Yeah,
the first one, Dylan Mulvaney, 58%.
Oh, God, there's some other good ones, though. Mulvaney, 57%.
You guys are correct on the winner. So Jake's old choir, 20%. Went to the border, 28%. And then on vacation with Dylan, 51%.
Wow. Wow, there you go. I mean, we have photographic evidence of the last time. I think Blaine was in that music video that David played earlier. You just gotta look really, really hard. I think Kirk Cousins is in there,
too. It's a Code Pink emergency, girls.
It's a code champagne and benzos. It's me. I say I'm not the choir. All right, we appreciate you guys. Great job, Replacement Cone. I thought Pylon Boy was the star today. And listen, if you like the way I did It's Mid the best, just be honest with yourself. And like the chances of Blaine not being with Dylan Mulvaney right now, we're going. Oh, yeah, gone. Enjoy the weekend.